Have you ever wondered if it's possible to play online games on a Super Nintendo? Well, today we're trying to answer that question, which I had for quite some time. I'm Paul, this is my little mod shop, and let's figure this one out. In today's age, it's pretty easy to play online games. Just fire up your good old Switch and play some Mario Kart, Smash Ultimate, Animal Crossing or simply Tetris. But the whole thing falls apart pretty quickly if you try to do so on the game console, which was released in November 1990. That was 33 years ago at time of this recording. But are there any realistic options to play online games on a Super Nintendo these days? Well, there was a Satellaview, but that one isn't around anymore for quite some time. It has been a really cool concept as it has allowed you to download games via satellite connection. It was released as a Japan exclusive add-on for the Super Nintendo in 1995, but was shelved in 2000. But still, you could only download the games and run them for a limited time, and there wasn't really an online multiplayer option, at least to my knowledge. One of the first real attempts on online multiplayer or competitive play on Nintendo hardware came by 1994 with the release of the X-Band modem adapter for the Super Nintendo. However, it was plagued with a lot of issues during its 3-year lifetime. For example, people found out how to make long-distance phone calls at the expense of Catapult Entertainment, which was the founding company of the X-Band adapter. And well, they got a really long phone bill, I guess. A more successful attempt at online play came by 2003 with the release of Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 for the GameCube. It functioned by using the GameCube's own broadcast adapter, and there was a literal keyboard controller especially made for that game. I did a little research and there is still an active community playing the game online. But let's roll back to the Super Nintendo era and to our original question. Is there a way to play online games on a Super Nintendo these days? Well, kind of. To answer that question a little more precisely, I followed up on a project from an IT security researcher named stacksmashing. He released a video in May of 2021 where he showed off that it's possible to play Tetris online on a Game Boy. For that, he built a device to connect the Game Boy to a PC with just a regular old link cable. He showed off playing versus one opponent or even against more people at the same time. This is simply nuts, so he rushed to his online shop and bought a few of his boards. On his own Discord server there are quite a few people who are playing Tetris online regularly. If you want to know how it works, the link to his video is in the video description. But I wanted to take things a little further and wanted to see how far I could stretch that idea. So I got myself one of these bad boys. This is the Super Gameboy 2, a Japanese exclusive Game Boy player for the Super Nintendo. This is basically a stripped down Game Boy DMG, the thick one, pressed into a Super Nintendo cartridge but with full functionality like the link port, which is necessary for the next steps to even try out. There's also a way more familiar version 1 of the Super Game Boy, as it is the only one of the two which got an international release. The basic problem with that one, it obviously doesn't got a link port, and even worse, it runs faster. Yes, your Super Game Boy you played growing up sped up all your games by 2.4%. Did you know that? I certainly didn't. Here's a quick comparison of the two. Take a listen. Side by side, there's a clear difference between the two, but for my way back then 5-year-old ears, there was no shot I would notice that. The basic problem is that we wouldn't be able to sync all the signals from the board, the server and the Game Boy player, resulting in a failed attempt to connect. We put that one aside for now. Stacksmashing's link cable USB boards arrived in the meantime, and I quickly made work to put it to a test. I even printed a small enclosure, but that's just optional. And lo and behold, it works. Everything's there. The 1v1 mode, the so to speak Tetris 99 style Battle Royale mode, it just simply works. And generating a code for sharing with your friends is easy. This is groundbreaking, and in my own opinion, it deserves way more attention as it already has. And with that, we can finally try out what we are waiting for the whole time. So everything's good to go right now. I already set up my Super Nintendo. I connected it with the stacksmashing board, and yeah, I'm already online. So I've got a player here. Her name is Jakel online. So let's try some rounds and if I can win. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, it works. Sweet. Oh no, oh no. Oh boy, so I've lost. There we go. First win of the night. So we played a few more rounds and I got served pretty good right there, so congratulations to the winner. Yeah, this is awesome, but technically speaking, I'm using the Super Nintendo as a glorified capture card for my Tetris footage right now. With just a Game Boy, a link cable and stacksmashing's little device, I would be able to play, and heck, it would be a good amount cheaper to do so, because the import fees for the Super Game Boy 2 cartridge and shipping these days, it just doesn't make really that much sense. And with no way to make the XBAR modem adapter working today, there seems to be no true way to play games online on real SNES hardware. But I want to mention that there are some ambitious things in the making. The BSX project, a preserving project led by the user Luigi Blood, is trying to make and keep a server online which is useful to play Satellaview games with, as some games require such functionality to work properly. And a big amount of games is already dumped and saved somewhere in the internet, so it's pretty easy to find and play for yourselves. However, playing them on an emulator seems the most accessible way to enjoy them. So this is as good as it gets for now. Thanks to stacksmashing for breathing new life into the Game Boy and being an inspiration for even making this video. And of course, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to leave a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And have you ever tried one of those Satellaview games? Let me know in the comments down below how that went. I am Paul, this is my little mod shop, and I will see you soon. Bye.